Well, here we go, guys, and welcome to another Tuesday night Bass365 Livecast, and we got a great show for you guys tonight. There's been a whole lot of big movement going on in the professional bass fishing industry. We're talking big moves in the roster changes at Major League Fishing, and some people have left, and some big names just joined. Our guest tonight is one of the biggest names in the business today. We call him the Natural because he seems to be successful no matter where he is. And he's got some unique ways of doing it. So we're really excited to hear from our guest, John Cox, tonight on how he's found success on the FLW, Bass Elite, and now Bass Pro Tour. All that and a whole lot more tonight, live on Bass 365. That's right, guys. This is going to be a fun show. John Cox is a natural bass fisherman. He's been doing it for a long time. From the time he was 12 years old, I believe he's been fishing tournaments and finding success no matter where he goes. He may be another Florida boy, so I might have a little prejudice towards him anyway. But nonetheless, the guy is just a hammer, an absolute hammer. And now, with the exciting news of him joining up the league on the Bass Pro Tour, I'm really excited to see what else he can do and what he's got. But tonight, I know he's going to answer a lot of questions for a lot of you guys out there. Why he joined the Major League Fishing Bass Pro Tour, what the future holds for him, what that format's going to do for him, and is he still going to run that aluminum boat on all those lakes? A lot of questions. Guys, of course, I'm Mikey Moser. With me, as always, is the man, Ricky B.
What's up, guys? Hope everybody's
Ricky,
doing all
how
right.
are you? Happy holidays to you. It's officially the holiday season out there right now.
Absolutely. You can tell by the weather outside, it's getting close to Christmas. And wow, I wish I was in Florida right now.
Well, no, you don't. Honestly, we got a massive cold front too. I'm sitting. It's going to be down in the 20s tonight, which is freezing for us. But I'm in the spirit. I'm eating little peppermint candies tonight, so I'm getting in the holiday mood. I got my holiday coffee mug, and I got one of my favorite anglers on as a guest tonight. So I'm super, super excited about tonight.
Well, let's bring him on and get this show going.
That's right. We got a lot of questions. I know our fans too. I see everybody starting to log in right now. We got comments coming through already. So let's do it, guys. Let's just get right into the deep of it. Here comes the brand new Bass Pro Tour angler, Mr. John Cox. Hey, John.
Hey, guys. What's going on?
What's happening, John?
Thank you so much for coming on with us tonight, man. I know you just got back from like a little siesta family vacation that was well deserved, I think, right?
Oh yeah. We took a little bit of a vacation and we just been relaxing. We're kind of boatless right now, so we haven't really fished in the last week or so. But hopefully, I'll get a new one here soon.
That means I can't come fishing with you this weekend.
Yeah, no, I won't have a boat to be able to get out there. So.
Well, that was really why I had you on tonight, because I was trying to get that done. But no, man.
Next week.
Last I talked to you, John, you were just about to go on vacation there. I'm going to put you on the bigger screen here. You were just about to go on vacation with your family. You didn't know where you were going. Where did you end up going, if you don't mind?
I'm trying to think of what one we ended up. Oh, so we ended up. So we just planned a trip. We went towards Gatlinburg, and we were just going to stay in a cabin up there in the mountains. And it was just. It was a great trip. We all were together, and we took 2 cars and stuff, the whole family. But it's like one of those. It was like one of those tournaments that you show up at, and everything that can go wrong can go wrong. I mean, you're waiting, hours to get food. Ended up not being able to check into our cabin for some reason, and it was just. But it was nice that we all were together and got to hang out. But it was just one of those trips. It was just we'll never forget it.
That's good, man. You've had one of those seasons to be. You know what? It's 2020. It's just I don't know what we expected. Nothing's going to go right this year. I can't wait for it to be done. But I'm excited for next year. I think there's some really good things coming, and like I say, big changes all around, but big changes you. And I know our fans are already logging in. They want to know, welcome to the Bass Pro Tour. Where did this come from? Where did this decision? I didn't even know this was in the works. Is this something you've been thinking about for a while?
No, I mean, it was, we've had that title championship for the FLW Tour. somehow we squeezed in there, missing that one event and made it to get, and got to go to that one. And that was my first time fishing the MLF format. And I really enjoyed it. Like, it was exciting. It was new. I wasn't really sure, how I was going to be able to hang in that kind of competition, but I liked it. A lot of things, a lot of things went through my mind of how I can approach it differently than a normal 5-fish limit. And man, I was excited. Yeah. So when I had the opportunity to go over there, and man, I just took it because, I mean, it's just a lot of tournaments, and I like the places we're going to, and I'm also going to be able to fish the FLW Pro Circuit too. So that's exciting too.
So it just worked better for your scheduling nonetheless, because you did that last year. You fished the Bass Elite Tour and the FLW Pro Tour, and I can just imagine the scheduling conflicts and the travel that you had to do to get from one to the next in time. But you did it. I think how many tournaments did you have to drop out of last year?
Oh, so I only missed one last year. That's
pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it really worked out. We weren't sure at the beginning of the year how it was going to set up. And then with the whole COVID thing, it kind of really worked its way out, which is amazing. And man, it was a good year. I mean, we started off really good, and just kind of stayed solid. We had some pretty bad ones mixed in there, but regrouped and learned a lot. So it was a good year.
Yeah, that's good. It was a great year, and it was a wild ride for all of us. I know you and I had talked a little bit about how all the scheduling changes that had to get made and deposits that we had to do, but you do it. I mean, traveling as much as you do, are you a camper or are you a hotel guy?
No, I'm a hotel guy, or wherever someone's got extra room for me to stay normally.
You do it like Ricky does.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't do too good camping. I struggle on them camping trips, but
I did it. I did it one year, and it was all I could take. It was too much.
Yeah. No, I mean, you think
my
you're
wife
in the
and I
weather,
do that.
right?
We travel to all.
And then it's like, gosh, and then you're gonna go back to your campsite and be in the weather. I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah, we had to make sure we have a really nice trailer to be able to do it. I married a beautiful Southern woman that loves the outdoors, but she's from Miami, so we're talking that kind of stuff. We had to make sure we had a really nice camper.
Right.
That's the only way she was going to do it. But it is there's a lot of you guys on these tours. A lot of guys camp because you're just out there for so long anyway. Bouncing hotel room to hotel room can be pretty tough on you as well. So, that's for sure. But yeah, we're with Bass365. We're at every Major League Fishing event. We're going to be at every Big 5 event as well too. So we're going to be seeing a lot of you this year. We're really excited for that out there. You just said something though. You are boatless right now. Is there a boat change coming this year, or are you still running aluminum?
Oh man, we're gonna still be running the aluminum. Crestliner came out with a new MX21, which is going to be pretty much very similar to the PT I was running, but it's going to be 21 foot with a 250 mercury on it. So that's going to be really exciting. We've been, I've been waiting. I've seen some videos. I haven't got to run it yet because of COVID, but man, the thing looks like it flies. It's got tons of storage.
Nice.
And so I'm excited to get that thing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I want to touch a lot more on that boat when we get in a little bit, but I know a lot of fans were getting a lot of questions here already that we really want to know about the MLF and the Bass Pro Tour and your decision to get there and how that format, you got a little taste of it in one term, but how do you think it's going to change your game altogether? Do you think it's going to, the every fish counts, catch, photo, release, trying to catch as many as you can over the biggest ones? Is that going to change how you fish?
I'm not going to try to change too much. I'll probably try to stay shallow as normal. And I might mix up some stuff that, during practice, I'd find some fish where there would be more numbers and I just wouldn't even use them in the tournament, would never even go to them and would kind of fish areas where I'd get less bites to where I might visit some of those places a lot more to get those numbers,
I think, realistically, the way the Bass Pro Tour is setting up, with a 2-pound minimum, it's not that much different, really. Like a 2-pounder is a keeper for like you would normally do it too. And obviously, the bigger fish you catch, the faster you're going to move
Right.
up that score tracker. So I don't really think it's that big of a deal as far as how you would approach it. I wouldn't think.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree with that too. I mean, I noticed, you know, at our last, the one we had their title championship, man, when a couple of those times I got in the, you know, back-to-back 4s and then like back-to-back 5s, like all within like 10 minutes. And it was like, you know, you just really jump up there quick. And with the 2-pound minimum too, I mean, you got to think, a lot of times you get around 2-pounders, there's big ones right there with them. And a lot of them same schools and stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited.
That's good. That definitely it's definitely a different approach, but I think it's a good approach for sure. What about that score tracker? I mean, you got a little taste of it. Is that an added pressure that you have to think differently, act differently?
Yeah, I mean, I that's what I tried to learn that last tournament we had, and it is. There's times you do not want to hear it. You know, you tell your guy like, "Oh, please don't give me an update. Please don't give me an update." And then there's other times where it's really cool because like you're not getting bit, but no one else is catching them. So you know something weird is happening. But is without a doubt, it is the worst when everybody's catching them and just you're like not catching anything. You know, then you kind of know you need to move areas and stuff. And but it's neat. I think guys who play that score tracker, you know, and use it as an advantage. I mean, those guys are going to end up on top. You know, same. I mean, it's just a little added, you know, whole twist to the whole thing. So it'll be cool.
Absolutely. We hear from a lot of guys that that have fished this format, and when you're on top, you would think, hey, you're good. That's actually just as stressful as when you're on the bubble or even below it, because you hear those scores of the guys coming up behind you and how fast they're coming up. It just, I think it's intense. It's right to the very end, really. And you kind of saw that at the FLW championship, the title championship there. You had to make some big moves to get up to that. I think the knockout round it was.
Yeah, I mean, that second day, because we led the first round, I guess. That second day, I just went and fished places I never been, and we were able to use the trailering rule because it was so windy or whatever, and I was able to just trailer around, and I was just dumping in a new ramp every couple hours, and I caught a few, but not many. But man, them guys were just catching right up to me, like, you know, and I'd be in the truck driving to the next ramp. And, you know, we do a score tracker update and it's like, oh my gosh, like these guys are like, are we even going to make the knockout round? So it was, it was very stressful, but I have to say though, that knockout round, we were in that we were like bouncing from 10 to 11 back and forth.
Oh, you were on the bubble.
Yeah. Like, and it was like, and I caught one fish the final period. It was like a 5-something. And I was just waiting for the 11th place guy, you know, to just jump me. I'm like, he's going to catch one any second. And like, I'm like ounces in front of him. And boy, I couldn't believe it that I made it in even to the final, though. It was so close. And but man, it was exciting for sure.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. You haven't experienced that, and now you're going to go fish that at, you know, half of your season at least anyway, because you're fishing the Big 5 as well too. But it's also a lot of guys that you used to fish with and haven't been able to fish with for years. And there's a lot of big names on that Bass Pro Tour. What about that? Is there any anglers that you're like, God, I don't know if I want to fish against this guy again?
No, I mean,
or any anglers that you're just, man, I can't wait to fish against this guy again.
I mean, I looked at it, and you know, some of them guys, they catch them, and they're gonna catch them. They always have, and but I mean, I'm looking at it as, I mean, you look at what the top 10 is gonna pay, and man, if you slide in that top 10 a few times, you're gonna make a lot of money.
So John, we got a ton of questions coming in here, but I got one I got to ask you.
Okay.
Bill McDonald wants to know what you think about fishing the Classic.
So it is. I hope it happens. I don't know if we're gonna fish it later in the season or what. But the way it's looking, I'm gonna miss practice for the Classic.
Right.
And then I'll just leave straight from the Classic to Sam Rayburn and hopefully be in Group B.
and then, you know, one thing that Mikey and I wanted to talk about tonight was the simplicity of your electronics. Number one, what are you going to run this year as far as electronics on your boat?
Right now, I'm pretty sure we're probably just going to stick with Lowrance. I mean, that's just what we've run forever. I mean, the thing I do mostly with my Lowrance is I save waypoints to spots, and then I type in what that waypoint is, just so when I'm running down the lake, I can just I can have a little note there on every waypoint and kind of know what it is in case I forget something. So I'm probably going to stick with them. We supposedly have some new forward sighting stuff supposedly coming out. I haven't seen it yet. Everybody says it's going to be amazing. I'm definitely going to try it. Because honestly, I mean, if you look at it, we won the Rayburn tournament, which it was kind of, I don't think everybody was kind of keyed in on it so much at the Rayburn one. But as the season went on, you couldn't win without it. Like, right. I felt like we were so close, and we're just not, just missing it, without using it, and I felt like, man, it's something that we might really have to play with if we want to ever win again.
It's going to be called Active Target. There's a little teaser on the Lowrance Facebook page right now that's pretty impressive. From what I understand, the big release is going to be like Friday.
Okay.
And I think the 4th or something.
Everybody that I've talked to about it is pretty much overwhelmed and it's used it or seen it. They won't tell us anything, of course.
Right. But,
we're in the same boat. Hey, we're in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
So I'm trying really hard to convince them that they need to send us one to, so we can advertise for them and help promote this thing. I just need it on the front of my Bass Cat.
But I can't specifically remember when we first met. It was probably your first cup event. And it impressed me. I don't think at that time you even had a GPS or a depth finder or anything on your boat.
No, I mean that.
It's been a long time ago, but
I've heard a lot of stories about this stuff too.
Yeah,
I would like to kind of get into what you think for your average guy that's got to buy his stuff. What does he need? If you were going to tell your buddy to go outfit his boat, what does he need?
Well, I mean, back then when you're talking, I was having to buy a lot of my stuff, and there was a couple years where it was like I got the boat in, I was trying to rig it and everything, and got to the first tournament and was like, man, I don't have time to even put this in the crest line, or I'd have like a 7-touch or something, a smaller screen, just to use for GPS, and I would end up not even putting it in because just short on time, and wanting to practice. And I would do well that tournament, and I think it was either 14 or 15 or somewhere in there. I'd just let it ride the whole season, just never put it in, never put the transducer on. And we almost won the points that year for the FLW tour. So
what year was that?
It must have been 15. That's when Scott ended up beating me the last tournament at the Potomac.
Yeah. Did he beat you because of the electronics he had, though?
No, I don't know. I mean, hopefully it wasn't it, but it was just funny. Sometimes you get behind people, and Scott's one of them guys you don't want to be fishing behind. And the first day of that tournament, me and Thrift were on the same spot, and we were 1 and 2. We didn't even know Scott was anywhere near the points, and we were casting side by side. And some reason I was catching him and Thrift wasn't, was like a first time ever. And I was like, man, I'm going to win this thing, And then I ran to my next spot, and here comes Scott running out. And he already caught every one of them in there. And I was like, oh. And then he ends up coming back and winning the points. But
I've heard, being a Florida guy here, and I run in a lot of the same circles that you run in there. So I've heard a lot of stories behind the scenes of how you've done in these tournaments and stuff. We all know you run these aluminum boats. We all know you're a sight fisherman, and you like to get up in places where people are going to put their other boats out there. But one story that I heard in particular, I'd love to hear your take on it. This was on the St. John's here. Mm-hmm. I think you guys launched at Palatka. You made a really far run, way farther than anybody else. You know where I'm going with this one.
Yeah.
You had to stop for gas 3 times.
Yeah.
And in an 8-hour tournament, I think you only actually fished for 2 hours. You ran for 6 hours.
I think we caught him in 30 minutes. And because it was, so we've made that run. So that was in the Wolfson tournament. And we made that run. That was our 3rd time trying it. The first 2 times, one time we got down there, caught him, broke down. And then the second time we didn't even make it. And, we got stopped down there, and we had someone get our trailer and pulled it back around. But that one tournament, we made it down there, and when we stopped, and that tournament's late in the year, and we had some rain the night before, and it kind of cooled the water off. And I went out that Friday, and there was 5 fish on the beds, and they all looked like giants. And it was like an 80, I think it was 80 miles, but with all the idle zones and everything, and the wind was blowing, it was just super rough. And when we get all the way down to those fish, after I think we got gas twice already, we get down to them fish, and I throw to the first one, and my buddy Keith throws to the next one. I set the hook, and it's like a 7.5 pounder. And he nets it, and as he's netting it, his rod's going over the side, and he sets the hook, and we get that one. It's a 7.5. So I mean, it was like, and then the other 3, I was like, there's no way, we only can have 2 over 22. There's no way these other ones we're gonna even be able to keep them. And Keith's like, man, just catch one. And we catch it, it'd be like 21 7/8. Catch the other one, 21 7/8. And it's like, we end up having like 30 something pounds. We make the run. We got stopped by the cops on the way back. And I told him, I said, we got 30 pounds this time. And he's like, there's no way. I was like, I swear we got over 30 pounds. We cracked the live well. And he was like, oh my gosh. And I was like, take him to jail. I told him, I said, take Keith. I was like, I'm going to wait a minute. And the guy was like, just go. You can make it if you go. And we made it back. So it was just,
that's incredible.
That might have been.
How did you know that there was fish down there? Is like, how did you make that decision to run that far?
So what's crazy is, we were running all the way to Monroe from Palaca, and we had this one little spot where it's like a small spring coming out on the bank. And for some reason, every time around that tournament, they just kind of, in that one little spot, you'll get some spawners left over. Sometimes there's only a couple. That year that there was 5 of them there, and there were 5 big ones, and
wow.
And man, I'm telling you, like it couldn't have worked out any better. All the
No.
The other times going down there, it didn't work out, and that was our first time doing it in the aluminum boat. And I'm like, it's definitely not going to work out this time. And
wow.
It actually did, and it was just,
that's. I mean, you hear about guys taking gambles a lot. That is an extreme gamble.
yeah. I still don't believe it to this day. I mean, it was.
I'm assuming you won that, right?
Yeah, we won it. I had to stay in the boat, and Keith had to weigh him because there was like 400 boats in that tournament. So like you drop the one guy off, and like, so I never really, like, I saw the fish for a split second, as we threw him in the live well, but I never, Keith got to get up there and hold them all up and everything. I just can't imagine.
Oh wow!
I can't imagine how that felt.
That's incredible. But now, I mean, that's kind of your home waters, right? So you kind of had a little bit of an advantage of knowing what to expect when you're getting down there. But that's, guys, people that are listening to this, if you're not familiar with this man right here, he finds that kind of success just about anywhere he goes. We're talking about, honestly, John, and I'm not trying to blow smoke up your butt here or anything. You're one of the most natural bass fishermen I've ever come across. You really seem to be just one of those guys that just knows how to find fish no matter where. But it's like no different than fishing with one of your local buddies or whatnot. Right. You know what you're doing, and you feel like the local just about anywhere you go. I'm sure there's a lot of people out here that want to know, your secrets to success, and you don't need to give those away if there even is any. You're just one of those guys that you carry a horseshoe in a place that doesn't have a pocket.
Right. I know. I'm telling you. So I just think I love it. I love it so much. I love going. I mean, I fish the Wednesday nighter like it's the Bassmaster Classic. So
there you go.
I love it. And for the longest time, even fishing with my kids and stuff, it was so hard to put down I still don't like, I left Champlain, finished awful, didn't do any good. My kids flew up, my wife, and we had a week to go vacation, in between that and Lake Erie. It's the Lake Erie tournament. And they were like, you suck, we got to go fishing. So we fished hard, and we fished against each other, to just try to get, to get back going. And then the Lake Erie tournament went really well. And then we almost won at St. Clair the week later. So it was just.
You had that a couple times last year where I think it was, you had to go right from 1 to the title championship. Mm-hmm. You did really, was that Champlain to the title championship?
No, that was, I left St. Clair, and then we drove all through the night to the title championship, and then showed up with never seen Sturgeon Bay or anything. and get to the ramp, and they throw a camera in with me, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like, we might not catch anything today, you know? And when I went to the first area, it was so similar to St. Clair. It was like the same thing I was catching them at St. Clair. And I see the drone up there, and I'm not getting any bites, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is, like, you know, I mean, it was the most pressure I've ever felt. Like, I mean,
For sure.
And it was the beginning of the tournament, and my third stop, I started catching them, and it was like they knew. They knew when I told them where I was going to go, I was going to catch them.
Ricky was up there at the FLW Super or the title championship, right. And I unfortunately I couldn't make that one myself. So I was sitting at home and I'm watching everything that was happening on Lake St. Clair there. And I remember looking at the schedule. I'm like, man, he's got to go overnight? And God, I hope he's in Group B. But you were in Group A. Oh my God! So you literally drove through the night and fished the next morning after finishing like a top 10 at St. Clair. Right?
Yeah, I think I ended up getting Group B for that one. So I went.
Oh, did you? Oh,
so, yeah, but because we were looking at the drive, and I was like, man, we're gonna have to take the ferry across the lake, you know, and it's gonna take 9 hours. And then the ferry was full. I was freaking out. And then we got Group B, so we just drove around the lake. It took like 12 hours or something.
Oh man, yeah. Talk about pressure. But I have a feeling you probably would have just ran your boat that far if you had to stop for gas.
That's right. So John, I have a couple questions. You know, speaking about your ability and being able to catch them anywhere, I think from what I've heard from different anglers, the more you fish, the more in tune you come to the fish, and that puts you in a situation that you can always do good. Mm-hmm. But I'd like to hear what your thoughts are to a young angler that wants to be the next John Cox. What would you tell them?
Oh man, you know, I mean, the main thing is to find something, you know, whatever it is, to make some money on the side, because man, it is expensive. Like it, you know, I luckily had a lot of guys give me a lot of guide trips, like they're overfull, like they'd have so many trips, they'd be like, oh, here, we'll send you some, and that, you know, that helped me a long way. And then you know, a lot of people you know, really helped me when, man, it was like, I mean, I remember painting a house, missing practice just to finish painting it. You know, I get Bill to hold off on, you know, taking the rest of the money for one of the tour events, you know, so I'd paint a house and then get the money for the house, and then, you know, get the bill like the day before practice started, you know. So it was you know, it's tough to definitely have some other kind of income coming in. And man, I just fish every day. That's what I fished every tournament. I mean, since I was like 12 or 13, I started in the John Boat Club, and I look forward to them John Boat tournaments every, you know, once a month, every Saturday. And man, I just remember, you know, practicing for them, my mom dropping me off, and you know, just putting in the time. Man, I've put in so much time out there.
Right. And I think that, you know, we had Ed Logren on last week, and you know, Ed from the Elites, mm-hmm. he said the exact same thing. His story's a little bit different. He started young, then quit, and then came back and made his first classic. But that seems to be the common thread that everybody talks about, is, you know, have a backup plan. If plan A fails, have a backup plan, or to help you along with plan A.
Right. Yeah, because there's always, I mean, I remember 2012 or 13, or, you know, we won a tour event. You know, we made good money that year. 12 was kind of, you know, it wasn't so great, you know, but then 13, like, you know, I missed like half the season, you know, and I was like, oh, I'm done, you know. And one of my buddies, he's a doctor. He was like, man, he's like, you fishing next year? And I didn't pay my money or anything. And I was like, no, man, I was like, I ain't got the money to go. And he's like, what? He's like, how much you need? And I told him how much, you know, the deposits in the first tournament was. And he met me at the bank and handed me a like a brown bag full of cash.
So it helps to know some people that got a little bit of spare change laying around.
Yeah. And you know, he allowed me to go to that first tournament, and I finished almost dead last at Okeechobee. And I was just like, this is it, you know. And then you know, I called him up. I'm like, man, it's gonna probably take me the rest of my life to pay you back. And man, I went to the very next one on Hartwell, and he spotted me the money for that, and then we got second. You know, I was able to pay him back, pay the next one and the next one, and just been rolling ever since.
Yeah. So Ike saying never give up comes in pretty handy right there.
Yeah, or the just make it work, make it happen kind of thing. Yeah,
Right.
you live that persona for sure. It's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's not an easy sport to afford if you don't have that. Not everybody has the blessings of maybe having a family that help you out, get you that big boat when you're in high school or anything like that. You started at a young age with, I think I read this somewhere. Your mom bought you a little 12-foot John boat for like $75 or something like that.
Yeah,
Is
a
that
rowboat.
right?
A rowboat.
A
I
rowboat.
begged her. I'm like, Mom, please let me get one of those trolling motors. And then her and my dad, they let me get one of those little hand controls, 12-volt. And I stuck that sucker on the front, and me and my uncle came down from New York, and we built a deck on it and put the fake grass, on the thing. I mean, it was set up pretty good. And then my dad got me a 5-horse Sears motor and put it on there, and it would get on plane by yourself. But when my partner was with me, that thing would just plow. So we'd take off in the John boat tournaments. That thing was wide open. It was going about 7 miles per hour.
But you made it work, right?
Yeah, we made it work.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You said you had that passion. You learned that at a young age, and you never lost that passion. So no matter where you are today, that's something you carried on, and that's probably your actual secret to success is you make it work with what you got, but you never lose that passion. Continue to keeping that passion. And I think that's a great story. I know you got a million more good stories out there. So now we got a lot of people that are asking some questions about the boats. That definitely, the aluminum boats, you're going to run them again. You've always been an aluminum guy for the most part out there. Why do you feel an aluminum boat gives you that advantage out there? What is it about aluminum that makes you want to stay with aluminum all the time?
Yeah, I mean, first thing is just when I get in it, it brings me back to that, that being a kid, 13, 14 years old. I'm in a John boat, just that same feel of aluminum. Aluminum's just got that different feel. And and honestly, they've come so far along now that like I swear, like, I mean, when the camera guys jump into my boat, they're like, man, this boat is so sturdy. Like it doesn't rock. It's solid, and it fishes so well. And before the ones I was running were a little bit slower, than your fiberglass. But now the new MX one, I mean, it's looking like it's a 70-mile-per-hour boat. And and I mean, it's gonna have everything, with that, and I mean, and the one thing too, being able to go, a lot of people don't realize, like when you're fishing really shallow, depending on how much of that boat's in the water, you push like a pressure wake out in front of you, like when you're trolling and stuff. And I feel like with that aluminum boat, since it does drift a little bit easier than a fiberglass boat, it takes less go on the trolling motor to get it moving, that I feel like I'm able to drift into the fish or sneak it up onto the fish and actually get a lot closer to them compared to in a fiberglass boat. But that just might be me thinking. But
you've also been known to use a couple different boats. I think we had Keith Poche on a couple weeks ago, and of course he runs aluminum Triton. He's actually switching to a Gator Tracks this next season out there. So there's gonna be two of you on the Brass Pro Tour in aluminum boats. That's kind of neat. The first thing to see there. But he got himself into a little bit of trouble up in La Crosse at the FLW Super Tournament. I think it was under horsepower. He didn't have a big enough motor. I don't know. I don't know I'm not gonna pretend to know the rules out there or whatever. But I heard references when that happened to him. Oh, that's the John Cox rule.
Yeah. Well,
is there truth behind this here? What happened? What's the story behind that?
The story behind that one is so the very first Crestliner, my buddy Keith bought it. We bought it at a used car dealership. And it was a 70-foot Crestliner. We bought it to go alligator hunting in, and then that was our first season fishing the FLW tour, and we were going to Red River, and and we're broke, and I mean it was like, hey, this is gonna be our last one for the season because we're not gonna be able to keep going, and I was like, let's take that aluminum boat, let's take the aluminum boat and go, and it had a 75-horse Mercury on it, and I went to Red River. And that's the one where I ended up going through the pipe and winning the tournament out of it.
Right.
And and then after that season, that's when the rule came in where you had to have an aluminum boat with you had to have a boat at least with a 150 on it. And Crestliner didn't. Their biggest motor they had on their flat bottom was 135. So it took a whole year. But then in the end of 2012, they came out with 19 that took a 150, and then that's why I've been with Crestliner ever since.
So, and I would assume I have actually I've just put my little bass tracker up for sale right now, but I have a Bass Cat. I have a big fiberglass boat, and I had that little aluminum boat. Being in Florida, these little small lakes, it was nice to have that little one. But not that I can get it in places where I couldn't get the bass boat. I just felt more comfortable getting it in places. I didn't really worry about, I'm going to scratch my glass or whatever. Is that kind of part of your strategy behind that too?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing too. I mean, people that have gotten their boat stuck, when you get a big fiberglass boat stuck, it is stuck. Like, you got to get someone to come help you. And the good thing with that aluminum boat, man, I can be able to jump in and work the front back and forth. And even if I can just get it an inch or two, I'm going to be able to get that boat off whatever it's stuck on. And it does. It's something, being in an aluminum boat, just feel like you can go anywhere,
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Clearly. Mikey, we probably need to get to a few of these questions because we got quite a few of them here.
Yeah.
Let me see where to start at here.
We've been kind of apologize, guys. We've been kind of just yakking away here. It's too much fun. So we'll skip a few of them here.
Are you ready to get to some of the questions?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Bill McDonald wanted to know what you thought about fishing the Classic, and we already talked about that one. What do we got next? So what's the reason for the move from Bass to the Bass Pro Tour?
It wasn't there was no reason. I mean, I love bass. I'm honestly, we don't know what the bass schedule is yet. So
right.
I mean, who knows? I mean, we might be able to fish them too. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, and that was the main thing was, I mean, I've made it this far fishing just the FLW. I liked fishing the title championship, and I just the MLF and the pro circuit events, they're lakes that, I mean, that's just where I've made my living the last 10 years are on those lakes. I mean, I don't know if we'll win any there, but they're just good lakes. I know them really well, feel really comfortable going to them. And so I mean, looking at the schedule, I just couldn't pass it up.
And then the next question, Adam Hager wants to know: do you have any tips for 50 to 53 degree water?
Yeah, I'm really interested in this.
So that's actually what I actually brought some baits. I got some here on the table.
Perfect.
But here, let me see. I actually got my phone resting on them. But so these are actually two of the baits that in the wintertime, when it gets cold and that water gets in that low 50s, I feel like it's the only thing I can catch them on, unless it's like flipping mats and stuff. And this is this guy right here. It is a 1/4 ounce Berkeley War Pig. And I don't know what's so special about this 1/4 ounce trap, but I mean, seems like you can cast it farther, you can reel it faster. Just everything. It is the best 1/4 ounce trap I've ever used. And in that cold water temps, they inhale that thing. That thing's awesome. And then here, this is what we got, the other bait for cold water that I'd use in the wintertime is that baby right there. That is what we won the pro circuit on Rayburn with. And it's a Berkeley Fritz side, number 5. And it's a silent. It's honestly so similar to like some of them old wooden flat-sided crankbaits, where they don't have any BBs in them or anything. And man, I've just killed them on this thing, like just snapping it out of grass and 2 to 3 feet, 4 feet, and then bouncing it off rocks and stuff. It's just when that water temp gets really cold, they really love that thing. But those are my two, like when it gets cold, I know that's what I'm going to be able to get bites on. And, yeah, that's just, I mean, those are two of my,
the rattle bait. Do you fish that on a steady retrieve, or do you rip it, or does it depend on the situation?
So the 1/4 ounce, War Pig, I'll throw it out. And I mean, I'm talking like I'm talking like when you're in that like 50 to 55 degree range. And we got a lot of sun. It might be kind of warm in trend, and the fish are going to start moving shallow. And I'm throwing that thing anywhere from 6 inches to 2 feet of water. Pretty little bit stained water. That's usually that time of year, or when the water's that cold, I like to find dirty water. I like it to have some color to it. And I mean, I'll throw that thing and I'll just burn it in that shallow water, and man, they just inhale it. it's an awesome bait.
And they're pretty good tips for anywhere around the country. Or
oh yeah, I mean, I everywhere I've gone. I mean, anytime I've gone early, anytime before the spawn, those are the two baits that I mean that's what I used most of this year in the beginning of the year, and I got my buddy at Berkeley, Brad, he was the one that really turned me on to him. I was waiting to get the Fritz side, and I didn't get any. And we fished at the end of last year in winter, and I'm like, man, I always struggle, December, January. And he was like, oh man, he's like here, and he had that Fritz side 5 tied on, and he had that 1/4 ounce War Pig, and man, we caught like 25 pounds throwing it. And I was like, man, this is awesome. So
That's it.
Kind of going through these questions in order, but my buddy Chris Hall, he's an aluminum guy too. He had a question about, did you win a FLW or a BFL or a tournament in a aluminum with a 90 horsepower engine? Was there a big event?
Yeah, I won the FLW tour with the 75 Mercury.
So one on the Red River, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, we got all sorts of questions here. We're just gonna get some of the highlighted ones. How about, what's your favorite time of year to fish?
It would have to be that pre-spawn. Anywhere we go, I really like the pre-spawn to spawn. I really like that when they're coming to you in the early spring, and when they're getting on beds, and that's got to be my favorite. And but I feel like this year, I feel like I really adapted, because like when everything got canceled and we kicked the season back off, I mean, even a lot of, like, all my friends are like, man, you might be in trouble, it's gonna go, and I thought the same thing, and it went okay. So
I would say so.
Yeah.
So let's see, who's next there, Mikey? I kind of lost my place. I
think that's about it for the questions there. I got a couple more
we got to get to here real quick. Steve Boogie Brown wants to know, do you have a bass fishing idol?
Oh man, I mean, there's a ton of them. I looked up to all of them, growing up, rolling and gosh, I mean, everybody. I mean, there's so many guys. I mean, I remember when Boyd was fishing the opens, the Northern Opens, and like, right. even back then, I mean, and he just, I don't know. I mean, he did well, and like, and then he goes there, he wins the classic. I mean, that just, it just made it like look like, you can just go, and I mean, if you put your head to it, I mean, you can do anything,
So fishing idols, if Roland in his prime was to go head to head with Bill Dance, who would win?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
In the prime, that's the key part.
I'd like to see him go right now, because I fished with Roland last October, and we were up in Canada somewhere. Scott, we were all up there, and man, I'm telling you, it was dark. It was dark. And I was like, "You ready to go?" And he's like, "Just a couple more casts." And I'm like, "I'm done." Like, and he just kept wanting to go, and I was just like, "Wow." I hope I love it that much if I make it to that age.
Right. Then the last question we got, Sean wants to know some bait selections and techniques for 38 to 42 degree water.
Oh gosh, I don't even go outside when it gets like that.
Me either.
I don't know. I mean, I would probably try the Fritz side 5 probably. But I don't know. I don't know. I might have seen 40s before, but I probably didn't catch anything.
All right.
Well,
Mike,
on that note,
to the end of those questions.
Yeah. On that note, so I mean, I think I'm just about an hour or so north of you, where you are in Florida here, but we're dealing with our first real cold front right now in Florida, and I know the rest of the country's already got it last week or whatnot. You guys have been getting colder and colder, but the front just came through yesterday. So how do you deal with post front conditions? How would I have to go out fishing tomorrow because I get like one chance in a blue moon to actually go. So tomorrow I need to go fishing. I think I got a game plan. But what would you, if you had to go fishing tomorrow, where would you go? What would you do? What would you be looking for to try to find some kind of success post front?
Right. So what I noticed today, I don't know, tomorrow the water might really drop. But today around here, I should say around here in my backyard, because I have a temperature thermometer in the lake right there, so I can see what the temperature is. It only fell to like high 60s. So
Right.
like the fish were still up. They're feeding like crazy. They're like, it can really be a really good fishing day tomorrow because that water temp hasn't got down into that 60 range. Once it gets down to that low 60, seems like it really slows them up. So you might be able to do anything you want. You might be able to, swim jig, of course, the flipping mats and that kind of stuff. That's kind of, when the sun gets out and if it gets that real crisp cold, they're definitely going to go and, get in whatever the thickest cover they can find.
That's typically what I would think is, like when it starts getting cold like that, the vegetation, the heavy cover is going to kind of hold on to that heat like a nice little blanket, especially if the sun's high. But I have a different game plan for tomorrow, and it's something that actually I could probably use your advice on because I'm going to go fish the Rainbow River tomorrow. Rainbow River is a spring river and full of springs. It's always 72 degrees. That was my thinking, but it's crystal, the clearest water you'll ever see. So it can be a little difficult. How would you fish a river like that? Crystal clear river.
So I've fished there a few times, and man, I would, with the weather and everything, I would have me a wacky rig, 5-inch Berkeley General tied on, and then probably power bait jerk shad, Texas rigged, and probably have them both on spinning rods with like 8-pound fire line, and and that's probably with light leaders, and that's probably what I would do to attack it. Because you like you said, the water is going to be the same temp. Them fish are going to be active. I would think. I
think so. I think so. Typically, when it gets cold, I'm no different than anybody else. I don't want to struggle. I don't want to have to work too hard. And I know a river like that, it's 72 degrees because those springs all the time. Those fish are the same. They're probably just running up into that river. So they typically, but that crystal clear with the current, that's a different style of fishing. It's a lot for finesse stuff and. It's definitely I'm got my work cut out for me no matter what. Even though I know the fish are going to be there, it's going to be a challenge for sure. So I didn't think about the wacky rig. I'm going to try that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, that'll get them in there.
Should I put a weight on it?
No. I would go weightless and step. In there where it's really deep, then I would definitely nail weight it or Nico weight it. But for the most part, in that anywhere it's like 5 feet or so, just no weight. And I think it'll get them.
That's awesome.
Sean, coming in on an hour here, so why don't we let John get back to his family, and we'll have you back on again for sure, man. It's been fun.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
It was awesome. It's just fun hanging out with you and talking to you no matter what. But I know you got a bunch more stories that we didn't even get close to getting to today, so we definitely want to have you back on. We're really excited to see you on the Bass Pro Tour next year. See how well you do, how you adapt to that format. But I'm excited to see you at the top of that score tracker. That's for sure. I have a strong feeling you're going to make some big waves out there for sure.
I hope so.
And like I said, wish you best of luck on both tours, the MLF Big 5 as well too. So you got the best of both worlds. I think you made a good decision that which way. We really appreciate you coming out and sharing those thoughts, guys. We're going to let John get going here. So if there's any more questions, put them up right now while I'm giving my last little hurrahs here. Or whatever. We know it's the holiday season. We got anything else coming up for you for the rest of this year, or are you done until the beginning of next year now?
All I'm waiting for, I'm waiting for the call saying the boat went down the line at the plant, and I'm gonna start driving up there to Missouri, and I think we're gonna take it for a spin up there for a little bit, and then head to Berkeley and South Carolina and get everything wrapped and get ready to go.
Well, maybe John, when that happens, I'm doing Cuddy Myers going to pick his new boat up on the 9th, and we're going to go live with him picking the boat up.
Okay.
Love to do that with you if it's something you'd be interested in.
Yeah, we can do that.
we give the first look at it, and I think it would be, it would be kind of cool to see your first impression on it, and maybe
Oh yeah, no,
ride along on that first ride.
My kids have been in it at the Classic when they had it there, and I haven't really got to see it much. So they said it's a lot bigger than the other ones.
Well, yeah,
right,
and
we'll hold you
of course,
to that
especially
for sure.
because I know we're so close to each other. The invite's always there. If you ever need a co-angler, a back of the boat guy, I'm really good at that. I promise. I'll let you catch more than me as long as I get the film. That's all.
Right.
So yeah, anytime you want to do a little filming, I'm always down for that, John. I'd love to hit the boat with you. The folks out there, we know you got a lot of fans, especially we hit some pretty good numbers out here of people following us and watching this. It's probably one of our best shows so far.
I think
so. We really appreciate that on our end. But tell the folks out there, where can they find a little more from you? Where can they follow you? Where should they give any shout outs to any of your sponsors, whatever you got?
Yeah, you can always find me. I don't do too much on Facebook. I mostly do Instagram. It's just John Cox Fishing. But I'll try to do some more on there, especially getting the boats and stuff. But I'm usually doing stuff on Crestliner's page or Berkeley or Boo Garcia's page and stuff. So you guys can find me there. Or wait till next year.
Yeah,
all right,
absolutely.
On the MLF show.
There you go. And with Bass365, Ricky and I and my wife, we're going to be there at everyone's event. So we'd be more than happy to help you out with any of that stuff to help get some of this information out to all these guys. So that's fantastic. We only got one more question. They want to know: did you put up your Christmas tree yet?
Jeez, my wife's been out of control. Look, she's got a tree there. She's got a tree there. She's got a tree over there.
Oh my! Oh, wow. My wife's been doing the same thing. I had to put up a 12-foot tree last night. She's got another one now that I know she's sitting here watching this right now too, because she's a fan of yours as well. Right. And now it's like going to be a competition. So thanks a lot, John. Now I got
so I wasn't opposed to any of them because they're all going to go out in the lake afterwards. So I'm like, get as many as you want.
I'm sorry, we got to let you go, but I had to ask. You had these Instagram videos up for the last couple of years of the hand feeding these giant bass in your pond out there, whatever. Are you still doing that?
Yeah. So I got some good stuff. I'm gonna start posting here the next couple of days of Christmas. Some awesome stuff. So
those are so much fun. I think every time you put one up, I have to share it myself just because they're so much fun and they get 1 billion views. So it's awesome. It's absolutely amazing. But that's pretty cool. Are these like trained fish? Have you trained these bass?
I've spent a lot of time with them. The great big one that in some of the videos I've grabbed by the mouth and pulled him out of the water. He died this year. So, but I got some other nice ones. I got some like 6-7 pounders that are starting to.
The future John Cox stars there. They're coming in. Well, John, this was amazing. This was a lot of fun. I know we learned a lot, and we can't wait to do it again for sure. We look forward to working with you a lot more in the future out there. So definitely, we're going to let you get back to your family. I think I heard your wife saying something in the back. She's got another tree you need to set up anyway. So, John, we appreciate it so much. Thank you very much for joining us today, and we look forward to it. Happy holidays if I don't talk to you again soon. But we'll definitely do this again soon.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
See you, John. Merry Christmas, man.
All right. Merry Christmas. See you guys.
We'll talk to you, buddy.
See you.
Well, there we go. I got to pull this one down here. But, man, what a great guy. I got you on big screen there, Ricky. Yeah, see how fast you switch that off.
That's right.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. The guys got to have some of the best stories in fishing, but, doing it just a little bit more natural than a lot of things you see out there. Doesn't have the $85,000 glass boat. Doesn't have $25,000 in electronics. He just kind of got that all around good local vibe to him all the time, everywhere he goes. So I think that's awesome. I think there's a lot that a lot of people out there can really learn from it.
Sure, and we'll have him back on as often as he wants to be, because he's a good guy and a pleasure to talk to, and a wealth of knowledge.
Absolutely. There's
Mikey,
a lot.
It's that time, though, brother.
It is. We've been out here quite a while here, guys, and we appreciate you guys being there. But we've done a lot of work, not just with these anglers on our end on Bass365, and we appreciate you guys following along and helping us out. This was one of our best shows, and they're only going to get better and better the more you guys get involved. So make sure you're following us on Bass365, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube, the website, and now the brand new app. The app is out there. We've been putting a little bit of post, and this thing is cool, Ricky, and I know you put a ton of work into this app. Tell us a little bit about the Bass365 Live app, if you don't mind.
It's been in development for about 3 years now. We finally got it to a place where I feel good about sharing it. I think that the cool thing about it is you can have everything at the touch of a button on your phone, basically. We're going to continue to add features as we grow it. The social wall part of it is pretty amazing to me, where we have our own social platform, very similar to Facebook, pictures only right now, but there's none of the stuff that you don't want to see. It's all fishing. It's always going to be fishing. And, you know, we've added a link, a tab on there where you can post your stuff for sale. We're not, you know,
or just brag about what you got.
Exactly. It doesn't cost a thing. It's free. All you got to do is download the app and register and use it. I'm pretty excited about it. It's been a huge project. I think this is the 3rd year we've been working on it. So it's ready now.
A lot of work.
Download it. It's in the stores. It's right there. Bass space 365 space live.
Yeah. It's a tremendous app. I'm really excited to be part of it and help it. I actually put my bass tracker up for sale on Bass365 app right now. So it's pretty cool. Not only, like you said, social media is social media. And there's a lot of clutter that comes with it. I guess that's the easiest way to say it. This is an app made by anglers for anglers where you can post whatever you want to post. It's fishing 365, you know, all day long. Whatever you want to brag about, your greatest catch, you want to give tips to somebody else, or you just want to get that knowledge from other anglers out there, it's on there. But if you make your own product, you custom crankbait guy, you make your own rods, whatever it is, you can sell your products on there. Or if you just have a closet full of stuff like I do, that's a great place to go ahead and put it on there. Or if you just want to brag, you can put it on your boat and let everybody else see what your boat is. I think it's a fantastic place. It's a whole new social media platform just for anglers, made by anglers. So it should be everything that we need out there. It's a lot of fun. So guys, Bass365 Live is available for iPhone. It's available for Android. You can put it on your laptop if you really want to as well. And it's free. That's the most important thing. It's free, and it's going to stay that way with anglers for anglers. So I think it's a fantastic thing. So check it out, guys. Bass365 Live app. And of course, there is a big link on there to go right to the store, Bass365 Live or Bass365 store. So all the cool stuff that we're talking with all these anglers, all the cool gear, no matter what it is, we got that on Bass3. And we still got a sale going on there too, do we not?
That's right, till Friday. Till Friday.
Yeah. This is the Black Friday week sale going on at Bass365 store. 10% off of all the apparel on there. I think we got sunglasses up to 30%. I think you can save up to $65 on a pair of sunglasses, something like that. There's boating accessories, lighting accessories, trolling motor accessories, you name it. There's a ton of stuff. Tackle management systems, everything's on there, and they've all got really big savings right now till Friday. So make sure you check out the store, Bass365 store. It's at 365stores.com. That's the easiest way to find it.
All right,
well, Ricky, this was awesome. This was a great show. One of our best out there. Guys, make sure you following us on and leave comments on anywhere you want, any of our platforms, to make sure to get the anglers you want to see on here. We got a whole list of them. We can get a hold of anybody. If you want to see them on our live cast here, we'll make sure you leave a comment, and we'll make sure we get them on there for you. And I think we got some pretty cool plans on how to get you guys a little more involved too. So stay tuned. Pay attention to some of the posts coming, where we're gonna post on how you can share your story and even share some of the airtime with guys like John Cox right there too. I think that's gonna be really cool.
Really cool. Mikey, thanks a lot, man. Another great show, and we'll talk to you later.
We will see you all on Thursday night. Who we got another special guest.
Don't say it yet, because it might change. It might change.
Yeah, that's right. We don't want to do it, but we got a big guest coming for Thursday. So, guys, make sure you got your tune in, you got your notification set, and we will see you on the water then. Thanks again, guys, and have a great week.